So here, up there was a temple. We are lucky today because we can see the ruins of the temples, the temple of the fourth.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. Today we will explore the very beautiful city of Italy. Yes, it's Ancona, the city of two suns.
Square. Look over there, there's a statue of a Pope, Clement XII. Was a Pope that lived in the 18th century, was originally from Florence, and was very, this Pope hired, let's say, called Vanvitelli, and many works were commissioned to Vanvitelli by this Pope that we'll see during our tour. So as you can see from here, there are two levels. The upper part is reserved to the clergy as the Church of St. Dominic. Was originally run by the Dominican monks. And this building,
ये अनकोना की एक बहुत ही प्यारी सी जगह है, प्याज़ा दिल पापा, जिसमें अभी भी चर्च के बाहर 18th सेंचुरी में जो इनके पॉप थे उनका स्टैचू लगाया हुआ है.
colony was colonized by the Greek in the 4th century before Christ. The name Ancona actually is a Greek word. Agon is the original Greek word, which means elbow. Ancona is also called the elbow of the Adriatic Sea because of the shape of the port. It is quite particular. And this Greek that founded Ancona originally were in Sicily. Okay, they moved and they settled here, founding the town in the 4th century before Christ. So this area, this hill, was the former Acropolis. Ancona nowadays still retains the layout of the Greek colony. One of the nice churches of my town is this one, that maybe you probably have seen maybe if you tour Italy, in Venice, and also in Trieste, in the very northeast of Italy, because the artist that designed and projected this portal, this facade, was from Croatia.
अनकोना को एल्बो ऑफ एड्रियाटिक सी भी कहते हैं, जिसे 4th सेंचुरी में ग्रीस ने डिस्कवर किया और जो उस वक्त ग्रीस की कॉलोनी हुआ करती थी.
Tour will finish more or less over there near the Roman Arch, dedicated to the Roman Emperor Trajan, because when Ancona fell under the Roman Empire, this emperor was very generous with Ancona. He widened the port, so an arch was built to honor what he did for our town. The port of Ancona is one of the 15 most important ports on the Adriatic Sea. It's a fishing port, industrial. You see over there, now we look, the shipbuilding industry. Any types of ships are built, also cruise ships. It's a tourist port. There are ferries to Croatia, Split and Zadar, to Greece, Patras and Igoumenitsa, to Albania, and of course there are cruise ships calling here the port of Ancona from May to October, more or less, once or twice a week. And just to tell you, imagine that the port of Ancona till 1946, the Second World War, was completely surrounded by walls, okay, around 5 miles. Now we just have some fragments of walls because they were bombs. They were almost destroyed during the Second World War wars. But actually was completely surrounded by it. This palace, as you can see from here, is very old, one of the oldest palace of Ancona, that now is is the city council. Some offices are here. The palace of the elders. The elders were the governors in the Middle Ages. The lower part, when we go down there, you see the ogive, the pointed arch, because the lower part was built in the Middle Ages. Then the upper part was added in the 16th century. Ancona, the Agora, the car, sorry. Then when Ancona fell under Rome, it became the Roman Forum, the Roman square, and later the typical square of the Middle Ages. So the markets of clothes and herbs were held here. This building in front of me is a nice example of Romanesque style, as we say Romanico in Italian, is a medieval style. You see the round arch and the little columns dividing the two, the windows with the two lights. The upper part, as you can see, was added later, is not the original. And this building now houses, as we say, sovrintendenza, is the national institution giving money to churches and buildings for restoration. The bishop's residence, and this church that we normally call in Ancona the Church of the Barefooted Carmelites, the monks without the barefooted, actually. The building that we have just passed is a nice palace housing the archaeological museums of the Marche. The tower up there, that is the oldest lighthouse of Ancona. It dates back to the 19th century. Of course, it doesn't work. It doesn't work any longer. There's the new one that works at night for ferries going to Greece and to Croatia. In the area surrounding the former lighthouse, there's a park, there's a city park. The town council established the park because there are nice cliffs the other side. There's a Jew area, a large Jew cemetery, and also nice footpath there. Let's give a look now at the Roman arch. The most important Roman monument of my town is the arch where we'll go on foot, right there, dedicated to the Roman Emperor Trajan, 1st century. You see there's another part of walls, the surviving walls, and one more arch dedicated to the Pope of the square that we saw, Clement XII, the Pope from Florence, from Tuscany. And the arch was designed again by Vanvitelli. At the very end of the port, maybe when we go up there we'll see better, there's a red lantern, a red lighthouse, the northern pier of Ancona. The other side, look, you see the building behind the ferry. There's a building that is a fort, the so-called Lazzaretto. There's the fishing port with the fishing boats. Over the train station, look, over there, there's the marina of Ancona with all the yachts. There are two important yards making yachts. Okay, we're almost getting to the cathedral. Up there was a temple. We are lucky today because we can see the ruins of the temples. The temple of the was the Greek temple, then the first church, and then the church that we'll visit. Okay, let's go. The temple. Then we go downstairs and see the foundations of this temple. It was dedicated to a goddess, Venus Euplia, was the goddess that protected the sailors. So, just it's important to understand the direction of this temple, because from this direction depends all the structure, all the building of this church. So here there were 6 columns this side, the front of the temple, and 10 columns this way. You know, this was the front, and 10 columns this side. In the 8th century, a first church was built upon the foundations, the ruins of this temple. Look at the red marble slab on the floor. Okay, one there, and the other one over there. You know, these 2 slabs show the perimeter of the first church, you know, and the portal, the entrance was again here. This apse, where I look, is the original. So this was the central nave, and that is the original apse. So this was the original church that was in the shape of the Latin cross, you know. But then this cathedral was built starting from the year 1000. I mean, what happens? If this was the first church, in the year 1000, essentially the original apse is this. Now, here we have this site, this monument in technical terms, is called edicula. Edicula, from the Latin. What is an edicula? It is a little monument, and is a little temple used to contain a statue or a painting. Actually, there's you see, the face of the Virgin, a painting. The painting, above all, is a donation. It's a donation that a sailor from Venice made to the Bishop of Ancona. When he was sailing here in the sea, he escaped a shipwreck. You know, he didn't die. So he gave it to the Bishop of Ancona because he survived, you know. Actually, the artist is from Venice, who made it, because the sailor was from Venice. We still have some ruins of the Roman amphitheater, dating back to the 1st century, the same century as the Roman Arch. When we go to the other side, we'll see the main entrance. There was an arch that the archaeologists identified as the main entrance. So people just entered down there. There was a corridor leading to the arena, you know, and this amphitheater, according to the studies made by the archaeologists, imagine that the digs were made here after the earthquake that there was in 1972, so quite recently. So, according to their studies, to their statistics, this amphitheater was able to hold 8,000 people. It was actually huge. It was elliptical, and the most important, nicest thing of this amphitheater was the location. Okay, imagine that at that time there was the sea, the other side. Here there was nothing. Up there was the temple. You know, the temple, the Greek temple with the front, and to the port the Roman arch. So if you sailed from the sea, you see the Roman arch, the temple, and this wonderful amphitheater. And hopefully we just have some fragments. You see, there's a sort of roof because there were some works 2 years ago. A Roman amphitheater. Why are we so sure that this is typically Roman? Look at this side of the amphitheater to the left. You see, there's a sort of net, okay? And in technical terms, it's called opus reticulatum. It's a sort of, you know, net, a technique that the Romans used when they build theaters and amphitheaters in Rome. It can be pretty recognizable in many sites. As I told you, that was the main arch that the archaeologists identified after the digs, the main entrance leading to the seats there that I show you. Imagine that here there were the warehouses, the place, you know, they recover for the boats. Again, we have just fragments. Okay. No. This is the ruins of the Roman port, you know, the port of Ancona. You know the frame? You see here? Anyway, I said that Ancona, the old town, the history, our origin is here. Our roots, I would say, are here because the former Greek Acropolis where the Greek settled, and the Roman arch that was built, I said, to honor Traiano. Actually, the columns and the capitals are in Corinthian style, because the artist that made it was originally from Greece. It's not from Rome. And back to the wall that I said that the walls were destroyed. In the upper part, over the arch, there was the statue of the emperor with the sword, with his wife and his sister. serve you the complete view of the port, of the old port, the Roman Arch, and the back of the...
Zobaczcie tak stylowo tam do